We are live in Hampton, Georgia at Atlanta Motor Speedway for championship weekend, the final race in our silly season. My name is Adam. Thanks for checking out the video, and thanks for following along all season if you've done so. Before we get to the main event, the fans here in Atlanta were treated to a special surprise on Saturday, as the four makes that will be used in our next season, February 2023, they took a few laps around the track. Rod Woodson, the Steelers Hall of Fame All-Pro cornerback from the late 80s and early 90s, showed off the Chevy Silverado. Smokey the Bear, sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, showed off his number 13 Toyota Tundra. Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz showed off her Ruby Tuesday number 39 Ford F-Series. And Alex Trebek in the number 21 Wood Brothers truck stretched the legs of the new Dodge Ram. Those are the four makes that we'll be using going forward. We'll talk about that in the early going this race. Really want to get out onto the track here, which means let's get to the business at hand. We are 7 points behind DB Cooper headed into this final race. We are tied with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, Mona Lisa Vito, 19 points behind DB Cooper, 12 points behind me and and Stay Puft. Randy Marsh is pretty much mathematically eliminated from winning this championship. Everyone else on down is as well, obviously. So we'll keep an eye on everything. Try to this race. And you can see the log jam. The top 10 AI drivers make it to our eventual legend season. We have we're running this season, then we'll run 3 more. Take the top 10 AI drivers from each season, and then run a legends season. So the stakes are high, and who knows who's gonna make it. It's really just a toss-up. Poor Al Bundy. Looks like he is going to be in the shitter at the end of the season and have the least number of points. He just never could get it together this season. All right, we're getting ready to go here. The mood was loose. The garage was loose this week. The John Hammond garage. Guys were pulling practical jokes on each other, getting ready for the big race. DB Cooper was actually under the weather this week. He was not even available for media on Wednesday. He said he's good to go, though. And Stay Puft has been walking around in the garage all business. Just really uptight. So the top 3 drivers each attacking this race from a different angle. We'll see what happens. Here we go. Here we are, Atlanta Motor Speedway. The Country Crock 500. We are starting P20, DB Cooper P29, Stay Puft P34, Mona Lisa Vito P31. You'll see the starting grid there. We have a lot to discuss once everything settles down here. A lot of housekeeping procedures as the season winds down. Firstly, you might notice the video is a little bit darker. When I was starting to fiddle with that new truck series and putting the trucks out onto the track, I saw the paints, like the colors weren't really matching. So I've had to fiddle with the gamma level in game, and I don't think I knew what I was missing. Because the contrast is better, the colors pop a little bit more. Rosa Parks trying to get underneath us there. But we're just going to cut in front of her, and we're in good shape. And we're off. This setup takes a lap or 2 to get under you, just like Texas. Just like that, us weaving around, making sure we don't lose the car. But we should be okay now. Yeah, the mood, like I said, the mood was, it was a loose feel in the garage this weekend, or this week leading up to the race. But we did have an emergency. My Thrustmaster, yeah, my trusty Thrustmaster T80, the racing wheel I've had since 2016, broke after North Wilkesboro, and it took me 2 days to realize it couldn't be fixed, and then 2 more days for a new one that I ordered to come in. So in those 4 days, I decided to paint those trucks for the Reynolds Rat Legend series, we're going to be calling it from this point onward, and we'll be using trucks for all of the seasons from this point onward. I wanted to run a different mod for each of the seasons, but then I realized I was going to have to eventually repaint all of the cars onto whatever mod we would use for the final Legends season. And I said, well, that's ridiculous. So I decided to cut my losses, run the trucks the rest of the series, and then I would just have to take the top 10 AI drivers from this season only and paint them on trucks. So I feel like that's a good move. But we will be leaning into that Reynolds Rat Legend series to the point where I will be spending my winter updating all of these tracks. There will not be any indication of Winston Cup series at these tracks. The next time we're at these tracks, next time we're at Atlanta, all this red will be gone, probably replaced with Reynolds Rat Blue. I will be going all in. So if during the winter months you get that seasonal affliction disorder, whatever they call it, you're just bummed out because there's no sun and you're indoors all the time, not having fun. Maybe you get maybe the emotions hit hard around the holidays. Just remember, there's somebody out there that is updating the graphics on a 20-year-old game for the enjoyment of maybe 70 or 80 people on a YouTube channel. So you're not alone. Okay. We're passing Rosie the Riveter here on the outside. Definitely bittersweet, always bittersweet when we're at the final race of the season. Even more so now because a lot of these cars, drivers, we're never going to see again. Rosie the Riveter being one. She is just way down there in the points. Got 2 wins. Will always be a Reynolds. When we're going to be referring to this, even though it's the Heinz Silly season, we'll always be going forward. We'll always be referring to this as the Reynolds Rap Series Season 1. Maybe just call it the Reynolds Rap Heinz season. But yeah, she'll always be a Reynolds Rap Series champion. A 2-time Reynolds Rap Series champion. And you'd think, wow, a 2-time female champion. That's incredible. Mona Lisa Vito, who will be going to our Legends season eventually. She won 3 times this season. We're behind Cameron Fry here. Trying to remember if he's in the points battle or not. He's getting into the Legends season. Anyway, we've made some moves here. We're 13th. DB Cooper has come up the field with us. He's P19. And Marshmallow Man's coming too, P24. So they're all coming. The tiebreaker is going to be average finish. If we tie with DB Cooper or Stay Puffed, average finish is the tiebreaker for the championship. then wins, then top 5s, and then top 10s. Same goes for the 10 AI drivers trying to get into the Legends season. The same tie-breaking scenarios apply. Trying to think of any more housekeeping stuff as we kind of settle in here. We don't want to spend the time. It feels like we can go faster, but we can't spend the tires because then the AI's pretty brutal here in the last 5 or 6 laps of a run, even when we conserve our tires. So we just have to be careful about it. I'm recording this video before the Kansas video has been uploaded or has been posted. So I'm not sure what kind of response we're getting in terms of the fantasy series. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. But what I want to do is in the weeks, or I mean even now, but for the February 2023 season that we run, I want commenters and subscribers to just have randomly selected one of those AI cars in that season, and the top commenter claimed, I guess, car, the top finisher of that season, you know, that commenter, subscriber will get 50, 100 bucks, something like that. Just something fun, put some stakes, raise the stakes on the races. But the main thing is, I don't want, just some randos that haven't been watching me for a while, just stumble across this video, not really care for it anyway, but just hear the opportunity to win 100 bucks and just submit a number. But you have to do that at the Kansas race, in the Kansas race comments. That is the only place you can do it. You cannot leave a comment in here. I repeat, do not leave a comment in this video. Leave it in the Kansas race. That is where I will be. It's the only place you can leave your number. As in, you pick, you don't know what truck you're picking. You're just picking a number between 1 and 39. Because we're the 40th car in the field, and you can't pick me. So you're picking a number between 1 and 39, and once the field is set, you will be that number in alphabetical order. Al Bundy, for example, is alphabetically first in this series, or in this season. So if you picked number 1, you would have had Al Bundy, and he finished dead last. So just something fun. That's probably the best way to do it. And then I'll be keeping a spreadsheet in the description of the Kansas race, keeping a spreadsheet with everyone's numbers and whatnot. And now, say Racing Fan 1 picked number 3, and then a couple weeks later Racing Fan 2 picked number 3, not knowing that 3 was already picked. Racing Fan 2 will just automatically move to the next number down available. So say 3, 4, 5, and 6 were already picked when Racing Fan 2 picked 3, he'll just automatically be given the number 7 card, which again isn't the actual number 7 card, but just the 7th name alphabetically in the roster. All right. And I don't know, if we don't get 40 people, we'll just, whatever user-owned AI car that finishes the highest wins. It doesn't have to win the championship. And we'll see how that goes. The main thing is remembering to cycle through the standings a lot of the race, like I'm doing right now. So people that are watching can get an idea of where their car is at. Because I'm not used to doing that. I'm not used to giving updates during the race. I've started to workshop and brainstorm how I'm going to do that. Oh, turn the car. Man, that car just did not want to turn there. Well, that's right. Lap 23. Around lap 25 is when I usually start losing the tires a little bit. And we're about there. Lap 33 is the pit window. Michael Scott, really disappointing season. He was up there in the points battle through 10 races. Then he hit 3 straight 40th place DNFs. And it kind of, he never really recovered. Yeah, I showed off those drivers and trucks before the race. Any suggestions you have, leave them in the comments anywhere, in any race. If they don't make it into that next season, they probably will the following one. I didn't have the cars. Oh yeah, and I don't think I finished that thought from earlier, but you know, it took 3 or 4 days for me to get my new racing wheel. 2 days of making sure the other one was beyond repair, and then 2 days for my new one to come in. I had some downtime there, so I decided to paint those trucks. I don't know if I mentioned that. And this racing wheel is fine. I had the T80. I wanted another T80. It's just done the job. It's a cheap wheel and reliable. Lasted 6 years. And it wasn't force feedback. It just felt like there was like a gnome or something inside of it that was like pulling on rubber bands and stuff when I was in the turns. But now I'm on a force feedback T150 wheel. A little pricier. But I was due for an upgrade, I suppose. And you know, if you're just doing clown racing like I am, and not really racing competitively, or even if you are, I don't know, you don't need like the Grandmaster 9000 with 5x blah. Like, you don't need that. If you can afford it, and not, if you can afford it comfortably, then get whatever you want. I don't care. But I guarantee you, there are some really prominent really prominent sim racers out there that don't use the top of the line wheels. Because all you got to do is watch this. I'm using the wheel to turn left, and I turn left. It's pretty wild that I don't need like Rubbermaid on Mars or whatever to turn the wheel left, you know? Like, who cares? Alright, we've come up to P5 here. I'm still having an adventure finding the keys. All the buttons on this new wheel. I could find those buttons on my T80 in my sleep. Still getting used to this wheel, but getting the hang of it as well. DB Cooper, P11, Stay Puff, P19. So they have charged up the field with us, pretty much. But we've charged up to P5 in the early going. We're going to be on lap 32 now, and lap 33 is when we see pit stops, and it is a sharp left turn for the AI into pit road. We have to be prepared for it. And truly, I think that is all the housekeeping stuff. Just trying to get the house all tidy because we won't be here for a while. Taking 3 or 4 months off, I can't. In any reality, any universe, there's no way I can just sit here and run races year round. Let's see what Wayne Campbell does here. No pit stop. Probably going in next time by. I don't see any cars on the apron down there. We're probably seeing pit stops at this lap for sure now. But yeah, that's why I take 3 or 4 months off. I just can't. If this was my job or something, then yeah, I could do that. But it ain't my job. All right, we're pitting here.
Outside. Clear. Keep it under 55. Keep it under 45.
All right, we survived. It's just a tricky pit road situation there. And with all these cars evenly matched, it is shaky stuff.
We'll give you 1.5 cans of fuel.
It's a good first run though, babe. Really good first run. Made it up to P5. Lost some positions there at the end due to cowardice getting onto pit road, but we should still be fine.
Go, go, go.
15-1 isn't awful.
Keep it under 45.
We gotta let Tommy Callahan go and get behind him. Very good. I think we are technically a lap down right now.
Okay, you're clear of pit lane.
I see DB Cooper behind us coming off of pit road. And there he is right there. DB! Is that how we're playing this? Is that how we're playing this, DB?
Okay, merge when you can.
Okay.
The leader's pitting now.
Well, shit. We went from P5 to P your mom right now. We need some, look at all that rubber we wasted here early. We're gonna be behind the 8 ball for this entire run pretty much.
Inside.
We do need to,
Pitting now. Clear.
oh, it looked like we had a wreck here in 3 and 4. Probably some kind of pit road situation. Cars merging and whatnot. I remember hearing some banging whenever we were initially getting down to the apron, but I didn't have time to see what was going on in my rear view. Oh, come on. All right, Homer, you got to get around Forrest Gump.
Car outside. Stay low. Clear.
And I'm waiting for all these pit stops to cycle through so we can see,
Car's the leader.
we can assess the damage. Where are we at in relation to DB Cooper and Stay Puft? There might be like a 15-spot difference between us and DB Cooper now. Just a real Bush League move by him on the apron. Coming out of pit road. But this is not looking good.
Car outside.
We do not want this track to be a house of horrors. It can be a house of horrors. But we don't want this to be a track that we dread coming to. It is going to be the championship race in all of our seasons. And we just don't want bad vibes here. Of course, the last time we were here was the 1992 championship race, where in the waning laps it looked like we could hold off Bill Elliott and win that championship, but something broke on Kyle Petty's car pretty much around this area on the track, and we got caught up in it. We wrecked. Bill Elliott didn't, and then we didn't have enough time to catch up to him at the end of the race, and we lost the championship. One of the more traumatic experiences of my life. Alright, let's take a look at the damage here. We're P32. Marshmallow is P14. DB Cooper's P7. So, we're in a lot of trouble here. Cooper's 2 seconds behind the leader. We're 7 seconds behind DB Cooper right now. That is not something we can make up on our own. We need a caution. Cautions are on. There are no random cautions. It's just unfortunate. I don't know what DB Cooper was thinking. He was probably thinking, why aren't you driving fast? It's because I was on those fresh tires, didn't want to spin out. It was just a series of unfortunate events leading to us. I'm surprised we didn't lose the car totally when we were, after we got hit. So definitely did a good job in saving that thing, but we're not even halfway through this right now. So let's just see if we can get a caution. We've already seen a wreck in 3 and 4, or I didn't yet, but I see the tire marks. So it is possible that we can see one. We can have a car blow an engine or something and cause a wreck. A lot can happen. But I'd be lying if I said it wasn't looking too good right now. No, I'd be telling the truth if I said it wasn't looking good. Never mind. Okay. Alright, we're P30. We gotta hope all those cars up there race. And we can slowly, methodically catch up. There's no use in looking at the intervals, trying to see if we are gaining. We just gotta run fast laps. Flag to flag coverage here, most likely. Damn it, this difficulty's good. I mean, I feel like I'm running the car pretty hard right now to make up for what happened, and we're basically just treading water right now. But this group that we were with, quote unquote with, has started catching this next pack, which is good. Another subplot to this race was Andy Van Slyke's only car still without a top 5 finish, and he got shuffled to the back here. I remember him starting up near the front, and He's been shuffled to the back here throughout pit stops in that first run and whatnot.
You're on the bottom. 3 wide. You're on the bottom. 3 wide. Hold your line. Car outside. Keep low.
All right, fellas and ladies, I'm driving pissed off. So just get out of my way.
Clear outside. Outside.
You had to have seen me come in there, Andy Van Slyke.
Stay low.
Yeah, I forget what race I mentioned it, but all of our Reynolds Wrap seasons will have a Pittsburgh athlete in it.
Clear.
We had Andy Van Slyke here, and we showed off Rod Woodson before the race. Meanwhile, out of all the sports, I'm probably the biggest hockey fan, and haven't had a Penguin yet. Anyway, but there will always be hockey references in the field somewhere. I mean, this season we had at least 3 off the top of my head. We have Cameron Fry with the Red Wings car, and then we have Happy Gilmore with the Bruins pit call sign and his jersey in the car driving. And then we also have the Blackhawks logo on the Wayne's World pit war wagon.
Still there.
Feels like I'm missing one, but I don't think I am.
Keep low. Clear.
But we'll have more in season 2. Thinking about having Gritty, the Flyers mascot, drive a Philadelphia cream cheese truck. So that's at least one hockey reference. All right, we're up to P25. We've gained a little bit. DB Cooper's P8. That's all we're carrying. That's all we're worried about. And we have Marshmallow P15. Like I said, we're P25. We're 3 seconds behind Marshmallow. He's probably on screen right now. And we have about 10 laps until pit stops here. This would be a comeback for the ages if we can at least get back up there in contention. Ah. Here's the halfway mark. I was hoping we were going to get a bonus point there when I heard him say it, but then we were pretty much smack dab. 10th, 20th, and 30th place drivers get a bonus point. And that would be Steve Jobs. That could be big for him. Rosa Parks and Al Bundy getting bonus points this race. This is all relative here. We're not. We have to finish ahead of DB Cooper. At least, 8 points better. Because the tiebreaker, I don't think we have the tiebreaker on him. Average finish. And it's just not looking good right now. Come on. I've driven the car really hard here. I'm really concerned about our tires at the end of this run. Or maybe I'm just kind of hooked up now and in the zone. I don't know. Nope, there, I just lost some. I just lost some of the tire right there. Thank goodness Neil Armstrong didn't give us the business. We still have 7 laps left on this run. And yeah, we did this amazing charge forward, and now we're just kind of hanging on for dear life until pit stops. and hopefully gaining some positions on pit road. But again, it's all moot. Even if we somehow win this race and DB Cooper, say, finishes second, we probably would not win the championship. Because we would have 49 points, he would have 42 in this race. And the tiebreaker being average finish, we wouldn't win. So we would have to go out and win this race and him finish below second. Bonus points for leading the lap notwithstanding. But who knows? I mean, we'll cross that bridge even if we get, even if we get to it. I mean, it's just betrayal by DB Cooper here. We've raced him pretty clean all season, I've felt. We need something. We need something. I don't know what. We need something to get us back into the conversation at the front of this pack. But again, not even that. It's all relative. We need them to fall back to us at least. Andy Warhol was on our sack there because our tires just aren't the best right now, and they're peaking on us. We cannot screw up in the turns because they're waiting to get under us. You can see Neil Armstrong is just like on us right now, waiting for us to make a mistake. But we've done a good job here. We've done a good job here holding our own at the end of this run on these bad tires. And we got to start thinking, pit stop should be coming up here soon. And we should, oh God. Lap 33. And then lap 66, so we should be seeing pit stops this lap. Yeah, I don't have the tires anymore, man. And we're just getting screwed here. We can't even get in. We can't even get on the inside the pit. Oh, this is not looking good. Yeah, we made a bunch of progress this run, but we're losing a bunch of it right now. We gotta block down here. Sorry, Andy Warhol. And even that, I'm getting pushed up the track. I can't do it. We gotta go in and pit here. Alright, we got down. We're in good shape. So yeah, you could see what,
we'll give you a half can
pushing the car in the early going of that run, what that did at the end. That's what I like. I mean, I want to have to run consistent laps in order to compete. Now, we need not a caution right now. We need to get out onto the track. Hopefully be with somebody to draft with, but if not, whatever.
Watch that speed now. Keep it on 4,500 in second. Okay, you're clear of pit lane.
We're approaching the scene of the crime right here with DB Cooper. All right.
Okay, merge when you can.
We'll see what happens here. Everybody on pit road. This has got to be the best lap pretty much of all time here if we want to gain ground. Here's Ray Finkel. Were we racing with him? I can't remember. Oh, Ray, I need you to go, buddy.
Outside. Keep low. The leader's pitting now. Stay low.
Oh my goodness. We really thread that needle. Meanwhile, that was Stay Puffed. We just passed Stay Puffed. So we picked up some track position here. No question about it. I'm looking for some fresh cars. Tobias Fuke, we haven't seen him in a while. We may have found our way back up here. Just a little bit of short pitting action. Not really. Didn't abuse the system.
Clear inside. The leader's pitting now.
Because Amelia Earhart was on pit road as well, so she was pitting early.
Outside.
And I got news for you.
You're now in the top.
The next car on the track in front of us is DB Cooper. I don't know how we pulled that off. I just think honestly, I think the AI was congested on the track instead of pit road. And when we went into pit, we were able to come back out, run, just get up to speed quicker. And I mean, we just ran a 29.291, almost our fastest lap of the race. So we're kind of hooked in, we're locked in right now. We're hooked up. And it is what it is. I mean, just impressive pit stop there. Now, let's learn our lesson. DB Cooper's right here. No matter what we do, nothing changes the fact that DB Cooper is right here. And, you know, he's running P11. And we have to save our tires now. We can't just go run up and catch up to him right here. We have left the field in the dust behind us. Curious what the AI does on their final stop as well. Because we pitted lap 33.66.99. And it seems like their field takes them a little bit longer in the second run. I don't understand that. But they may only be taking on fuel in their run, on their final stop. So we have to start taking care of the tires right away here to make sure we have enough to compete. Yeah, we came into this race tied with Stay Puffed. And he's back in P13. And we're P11, so... And maybe he led a lap here or something, but we're still ahead of him in the points right now. But we gotta... We're basically 9 points behind DB Cooper right now. With the tiebreaker, we can't beat him on the tiebreaker.
Keep it up, keep digging.
So we came into this race 8 points behind him, with you know, with the tiebreaker in mind. And now we're behind him 1 spot on the track. So to win the championship, if everything stays equal with him, we would have to finish P2. And that possibly could have happened if he didn't wreck us. And he's got to be shaking in his boots. Seeing the old Jurassic Park Buick getting larger in his rear view here. Is he supposed to... Is he gonna... should he expect some payback? Alright, I'm hooked up right now. We are not spending the tires. We're just kind of running some smooth lines right now. DB Cooper has 2 wins this season. He won at the first Bristol race, and then he won at the Daytona night race. Might just rattle his cage a little bit. That's something weird too. We'll be running these seasons going forward in February 23, August 23, and February 24, which will set up the Legends season in August 24. So the Legends from this current season, from this race, we won't see again for a little under 2 years. I don't know if I'm going to do a big season recap video. Maybe just talk about stuff post-race in this video. Maybe down the line. I've saved all of the replays from this season, so maybe down the line put together a wreck compilation or something. Which honestly, I can't even remember. The most memorable wreck was probably the Rosie the Riveter at Talladega, just that hard hit she took. But we haven't had too many flips. I think Ray Finkel flipped somewhere at Charlotte or Atlanta, and then Michael Jackson flipped at Darlington. So that's been pretty much it. Jack Burton in the lead here. I wasn't even paying attention to that. The Pork Chop Express will not be a legend, but hoping to go out on a high note, even though he's been probably the most disappointing car to me. Just a car I wanted to perform well. I like the movie. I like the idea for the paint scheme. And he's just laid a big turd on my face. I'm gonna rattle his cage a little bit. There you go. You like your cage rattled, DB? Oh boy. I'm giving him the finger right now. You can't see it. Just really messing with him right now.
Car outside. Keep low. Keep low. Clear. You're in the
I'm
top
just gonna
10.
cut him off.
Car outside. Clear outside.
All right. I tell you how we gained so many spots. Our pit road entry. Because I've noticed, and you probably noticed on our first stop, that I went down onto the apron back when we were pitting with the AI, and I kind of really slowed down and made sure we didn't cheat. And just get a way better entry than them, because they really get slow on the apron. And whatever, hey, whatever. So if I'm pitting with the AI, I want to mimic what they do so we don't gain an unfair advantage. And I think I kind of forgot about that, or I remembered it, but I just didn't compensate enough for it, I suppose. But whatever. I mean, the AI spun us out on the apron, coming out of pit road, like assholes. So it's whatever. Did he just say leader's pitting now? That would be amazing if the leader's pitting now. I don't think that's what he said. Because if the leader was pitting now, that means they know they can't. You know, they were going to be putting on 4 fresh tires to make it the rest of the way, kind of splitting the remainder of the race in half. All right. We're getting down to 20 to go here soon. And as it stands, we need some help. Oh, we got engine something here. Hang on to her. Gaining a spot is... Oh, Wayne Campbell. Wayne Campbell. Oh, man.
20 laps to go.
Like, there's no making up for points you lose this race. However the standings are at the end of this race, those are the legends in the eventual Legends season. And Wayne Campbell is going to be dropping here. And he's been a pretty solid fixture in the top 10 for a while. That may push him out of that Legends season. Wow. DB, behave back there, buddy. Amelia Earhart crinkled up here somewhere. I still haven't seen what the wreck was in 3 and 4 here during those first pit stops. I know I promised earlier this season to pause the game somewhere so I could talk about it, so I don't sound like an ass like I do right now, but we're just... This race is a different breed. Just locked in right now. We're about 4 laps from our pit window. 33.66.99. And the AI is probably going to be pitting a little bit after that. And we're going to be blindly trying to figure out what they're going to be doing. Fuel only, or just, you know, right sides only with fuel, or what? I don't know. I'm hoping for at least one AI pitter, so we can get an idea on what they could possibly be doing as a whole, you know. Stay Puft, P16. But we've managed the tires right now, so we're in good shape. We do have a final pit stop, so we can actually just hang out here on the track until we see what the AI does. And we will be doing the same thing as they. Wouldn't mind getting around Mr. Rogers here, just because I don't want him doing a sharp move down on the pit road and us not expecting it. And pretty much throw our race away, you know. Don't want that. We're down to it. The last 15 laps, 14 laps of the season, man. He's been running this high line the last few times. We're going to finally get him out of the way here, hopefully. So we're on our window right now, but guess what? We're going to stretch the fuel like they have on a few runs. Just so we can see what they're going to be doing on pit road, and we just need an excellent pit stop, and we need something to happen to DB here. That is what it has come down to. And I've talked about in the seasons going forward, handicapping ourselves before the season, you know, maybe starting 50, you know, 30 points behind or whatever. So say we did that. Oh, geez, Louise. Yeah, you get out of that bottom groove, you're toast. So say we would have handicapped ourselves this season. No hypotheticals, no different results in the races. We'd be 57 points behind right now. Could we gain those points by having a better season overall? Possibly. All right, Amelia Earhart was on pit road there. I want to get under DB Cooper here. Wheel-to-wheel action into 3 there. I want to see what they're doing on pit road. What Amelia Earhart did anyway. I think I had another thought that I didn't finish. I forget. I'm just down to it here. All right, let's see. Where's Amelia? Right side. She took on right sides. Anybody else on pit road right now? There was another car that went on pit road. I didn't see who it was, though. They probably aren't at their stall yet. Rosie. She's taking on tires. Ray Finkel hasn't pitted yet. I don't know what we should do here. 10 to go. Ugh. I mean, now we're down to 9 to go. I had to make sure Prince Akeem wasn't pitting there and ruining our race. Looks like DB Cooper has pitted. Come on, Spice Girls. Damn it. So. All right, let's see what a lot of these cars are doing now. This is a big deal. Yeah, seems like there's a threshold where they decide, hey, we're not taking on 4 anymore. We're just taking on, what's DB doing? He's just fueling up. Okay. So I'm glad we did that. So let's, turn off the tires. Tire is yellow. Where's fuel? I gotta find my keys here. With 10 to go. We get about 15 laps to a can. So probably a can of fuel. Because we can't take on a half, would only give us 7, you know, and we've stretched this, so a can is fair. Here we go. And you can see how I had to really slow up here to get with Prince Akeem's pitting speed. We didn't do that on that one spot, that one stop where we gained all that track position. Didn't want to spend tires getting onto pit road, but that was probably the best thing probably the best strategy there, though. How about filling up the car? Here we go.
Keep it under 55. Keep it under 4,500 in second. Watch that speed now. Keep it on 4,500 in second. Okay, you're clear of pit lane.
And there's DB right there. There's the championship right there. We just didn't have a good stop, I guess. Awful stop, really. There's Mr. Rogers. And we don't have we do not have tires anymore either, so
that car in front of you is pole position. You're racing the car.
We're just kind of hanging on. It was a great season, man. We gotta hope something Shut up. So hopefully something happens with DB Cooper, wreck-wise. But I mean, we've been chasing him all season down the stretch here. We're just not going to have enough. That was a long shot anyway. After we got pushed to the back by DB Cooper. Us getting back up to the front just wasn't going to be likely. And hell, even if we would have hung out up there, we may have eventually just ended up where we were anyway. Before those stops. Spice Girls. I was going to say they're in the lead, but that was because of their late pit stop. I think Steve Jobs is going to be in the lead, or Indiana Jones, or Guy Fieri. Now, wait a minute. Guy Fieri. We're not worried about points right here. Guy Fieri, that might be back-to-back wins. If he can pull that off. Yeah, we do not have the tires anymore. We were running the car pretty hard. And I tell you what, we had time to take on right sides, too. Taking on that can of fuel. Which the can of fuel was the right move. Mathematically. Stay puffed. Oh man, for posture's sake, let's at least finish second here if we can. In the point standings. But we can't. We don't have the grip anymore. We don't have the grip anymore, man. Alrighty.
Here comes the leader.
I don't want to have an impact on the end of this race here, though. Holy cow. I think Steve Jobs just won.
Here's the flag. It's over.
And yeah, we're a lap down, so they don't even let us finish our lap. And pretty sure DB Cooper has won the Heinz Packet Championship. And we embarrassed ourselves there at the end. Alright, I was getting emotional editing the video. It's hard to say goodbye. Let's check out the results one last time. Jack Burton waited all season to make moves. He led the most laps this race. Steve Jobs, of course, got the win. Started P35. We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about Guy Fieri starting P39 as well. Hello. And you see the Spice Girls finishing 9th, finishing P36. We'll talk about that. And Mr. Rogers. Yeah, DB Cooper finishing 8th. I mean, even if he didn't get into us, we would have had to have won this race in order to win the championship. So it's not like we left something on the table here by getting spun out by that son of a bitch. Second page of the results. Super Dave, P37. We'll talk about that. He was able to climb up to 14th. AT&T Lily started in the back row. I think I messed up her and Guy Fieri on the starting grid. The third page, Prince on the pole. It's usually what happens when he's on the pole. He had a couple poles this season, and he usually just drops to the middle of the pack for whatever reason. The back page of the results, Andy Warhol. It's another car that starts near the front and always drops for whatever reason. Mick Dundee back to his bad luck ways. Andy Van Slyke did not get that top 5 we wanted for him. Homer Simpson, we'll talk about Homer Simpson, finishing P36. We finished P38. Who gives a crap? Amelia Earhart, she was the one that wrecked during those first, on the Debbie Harry turn 3 and 4 cam, or whatever I called it. Those were her tire marks up into the wall. And Wayne Campbell, we saw the DNF live. We'll talk about that. So, who are the legends? Who are the top 10 AI drivers this season who will show up about 2 years from now in the Reynolds Wrap Truck Series Legends season? That's what we'll call it. And I had time to in the downtime when I was waiting for my wheel to come in the mail, I started painting, 6 or 7 of the top drivers that I figured would make it anyway, and then I just had to paint a couple other trucks here. So all the top 10 AI cars from this season are now trucks. You'll see them on the screen. DB Cooper, the champ. I wouldn't call him the GOAT, but he's the champ, plain and simple. Stay Puffed finished 2nd among the AI drivers. Not a surprise. He was leading the points for most of the season. 3rd place among the AI drivers, Mona Lisa Vito, and her 3 wins. 4th place in the AI drivers, Steve Jobs. Dominated the early, first 9-10 races of our season. Started dropping back, and he needed this win. Came from the back of the field here to crack the top 10 and get into the legend season. He's a legend. The 5th AI driver going on to the Legends season is Randy Marsh. He had a huge second half, and he had that win at Darlington, and he was a force in the second down the stretch here. He earned his spot in the Legends season. The 6th AI driver making it, Neil Armstrong. Nothing really sticks out. He was just solid, I guess. Nothing really sticks out. Didn't get a win. He wrecked a couple times. We hit him once. But the Eagle has landed into the Legend season. The 7th AI driver making it into the Legend season, Michael Bolton. I have no idea how this happened. He had a bad start to the season, but he righted the ship. But when I looked into it, I found out how it happened, because I wiped out the first 15 races, and I looked at the standings for the second half, just the second 15, the second half of the season. He was the points leader. He had the most points in the second half of the season, so that's why he's here. The 8th driver Moving on, Super Dave Osborne. I put up a graphic a few races ago that he's had all these second place finishes. So he was just the bridesmaid laying low in the cut, and he was just steady all season. Now we're getting down to it. The 9th AI driver making it in, AT&T Lily. I wasn't hopeful that she was going to make it, but she had that big win late in the season at Kansas that pushed her over the top pretty much. Her P17 here was just enough to get in. And drum roll, the final driver making it, Guy Fieri. He had no wins this season, but 11 top 10s. And he beat the Spice Girls. Of all drivers, he beat the Spice Girls by 6 points to get into the Legends season. The Spice Girls were a top 5 driver in that second half of the season, but they just couldn't get it done. Here are the season stats. No real sexy way to show these, just because it's so much info. But you see, we led the series, the season, with top 10s and top 5s, and relatively no one else was close. So definitely going forward, we'll be handicapping ourselves. And you see our 5 DNFs over there as well. Mona Lisa Vito had her 3 wins like I was just talking about. And then you see Guy Fieri beating out the Spice Girls. Wayne Campbell down there. This DNF may have gotten Guy Fieri into the Legends season. Just an awful time for Wayne Campbell's car to break. It's brutal. You see Rosa Parks, Hannibal Lecter. I mean, this is just information overload. But I do want to say goodbye to these drivers. We're never going to see them again. Spice Girls. Ugh. Rosa Parks. Historic top 10s. She'll forever be in the history books. And she's forever a champion. She won at Charlotte. Hannibal Lecter saw glory leading some laps at Nazareth, but that was pretty much it. Happy Gilmore just wasn't consistent enough. He had that win at Texas late in the season, but he just stumbled. Homer Simpson, we'll always remember him getting into us at Nazareth, taking us out of that race. He's forever a champion. He won at Dover, but had some bad luck late in the season. Velma Dinkley, forever a champion, won at Talladega, and that was it. I don't really remember anything else much about her this season, to be perfectly honest with you. Tobias Fuke, forever a champion times 2. Won at Phoenix early in the season and won at Bristol. Prince Akeem, guess what? Forever a champion. Won at Nazareth. Moving to places 21 through 40 in the final standings. Andy Van Slyke didn't get his top 5. There were some drivers on that first page that didn't have DNFs. Wayne Campbell didn't have a DNF before Atlanta. And Martha Stewart didn't have a DNF as well. Let's say goodbye to these drivers as well. Gus Fring, forever a champion, won at Las Vegas. What can you say? Michael Jackson. Just his season was just full of turmoil with the different paint schemes and the sponsorship contracts, and he just couldn't stay focused. Forrest Gump, disappointing season. I actually thought he was going to be finishing lower in the standings, but guess what? When I looked at those second half points standings, he was in the top 10. So he was able to make moves, but not enough. Indiana Jones, forever a champion in the Reynolds Wrap truck series. Even though these weren't trucks, we got to call it that from now on. He won at Atlanta early on, but he was P the rest of the season pretty much. Martha Stewart, forever a champion, won at North Wilkesboro early in the season. Andy Van Slyke, we just talked about him. Jack Burton, I talked about him, I forget, recently. Just needed him, wanted his car to perform well. It just didn't happen. Mr. Rogers, that poor bastard. He was top 10 in the points in the second half of the season. Shows you how bad his first half was. Dutch Vanderlyn, forever a champion. Won at New Hampshire to close out the first half of the season. Andy Warhol, forever a second place finisher. He finished second twice at Rockingham. So if the whole season was running at Rockingham, he could have won the championship. Tommy Callahan, forever a champion. Watkins Glen. Amelia Earhart, that was the one car. You know, Earnhardt, that 3 car, I really wanted that to shine. And she just didn't have it. Seems like she wrecked every race. It seemed like she was a lap down every race. But she got her win at, where was that? Nashville, I think. Pretty sure. Cameron Fry, you want to talk about a field filler. He had 3 DNFs, and he was just a car that was there. You know, nothing special. And I'm pretty sure those 20 laps led were the least. Or no, Wayne Campbell led 16. But Cameron Fry led 20. So that just shows he just wasn't in front and just didn't get it done. We're saying goodbye to Rosie the Riveter. 2 wins this season. Early on at Rockingham and then Martinsville down the stretch. But then she just was Mrs. Inconsistency. Couldn't get anything done. Michael Scott, the poor son of a bitch. He'll forever be in Reynolds Wrap Truck Series lore with his 3 straight 40th place DNF finishes, 3 straight poles. I don't know if we'll see that ever again. Prince just wasn't cut out for the big leagues. Just straight up. I mean, he came in with an attitude, didn't win any decals or even contingency decals on his car. And he's just an amateur. Nothing else you can say. 5 DNFs. Mick Dundee. I thought we were helping him out. We did help him out. Got him out of that Foster's car. Got him over into the Vegemite machine. And he was making moves, but he just had a bad couple of races here at the end. And dropped like whale crap in the standings. But he did lead the most laps this season. That's not even a number I worried about highlighting in here because he led a couple of short tracks and that was it. So it was just luck of the draw there. Tim Taylor. Goodbye to Tim Taylor. Just without the wins, he's another field filler like Cameron Fry. But he had 2 wins. It's unbelievable that he had 2 wins. Riverside and Richmond. And they were within 2 or 3 races of each other. Pretty incredible. And then Ray Finkel. I wanted that car to perform well. It's the Jerry Nadeau paint scheme that everyone always, you know, it's a nice, it's a fan favorite paint scheme. And but he was ass. He won our inaugural Oscar Mayer Daytona 500, and then that was it. Like we barely heard from him again. In the top 5, 3 times, top 10, 5. Oh, just brutal. And then, of course, Al Bundy gets the dog ass award. Could never get out of the basement. Just pretty incredible. He supplanted Mick Dundee, I'd say around race 13 or 14. And then Tim Taylor was down there as well. But Al Bundy is just the model of depression and failure. And that does it. Hey, hell of a fun season. Thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing, everything. Most likely there toward the end of the season you saw some ads popping up on the videos. All that ad money is going to be going toward the Reynolds Wrap Truck Series Season 2 gift card money award or whatever for the fantasy whatever we're going to do. I'll come up with a name for it or whatever. But if all went according to plan, the video taking us out of this season are the top 10 cars from this season are now trucks. And they're taking some laps around Atlanta. And I'm just afraid to say goodbye and sign off. It's been a fun season. But you can bet your ass February. Early February. Before February 15th. Definitely before the Daytona 500. We will be starting Season 2 of the Reynolds Wrap Truck Series. If you have any recommendations on some cars or trucks, we gotta start learning to say trucks. If you have any recommendations for some drivers to put into these trucks in our fictional series, let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching.